In the scorching sands of the Sahara Desert, a controversial decision was issued, allowing the hunting of hyenas. But what forced the authorities to open the door to this activity? The increasingly severe damage caused by this nocturnal predator. When hyenas become active, local herds from goats and sheep to cattle become frequent targets. Many pastoral communities have lost everything in a single night, resulting in consequences not only economically but also in terms of survival security in this harsh desert. Estimated damages reach hundreds of thousands of dollars annually in heavily affected areas, making hyena control an urgent priority. So with an animal that is both strong and cunning like the hyena, what tactics have hunters in the Sahara used to respond? The answer may surprise you. Let's explore it right now. Hunting hyenas with a gun is one of the most difficult and least understood challenges in African predator hunting. This animal, often referred to as a scavenger, is far more intelligent, resilient, and agile than many people think. The hunter must rely entirely on shooting skills, patience, and understanding of hyena behavior because this method involves no assistance from bait, calls, or hunting dogs. In this form of hunting, the gun is not just a tool, it is the hunter's only chance to end the pursuit quickly and cleanly. Understanding the species and their daily habits is crucial in the hunt. Hyenas, especially the spotted hyena, are primarily nocturnal and tend to move across vast territories. They travel long distances in search of carrion or small prey, often taking advantage of cover and wind direction. For the hunter, this means choosing the time and terrain carefully. Most rifle hunts take place just before sunrise or at twilight when visibility favors the human eye, but the hyenas are still active. Selecting the appropriate gun and ammunition is not a matter of preference, it's about performance. The .270 Winchester is widely accepted, but many experienced hunters prefer the more versatile .308 or .30-06 for their power and availability. For those hunting in dense terrain or among other dangerous predators, some opt for the .375 HNH Magnum. Regardless of caliber, the bullets must be controlled expansion types, such as soft points or bonded cores, to ensure both penetration and energy transfer. Shot placement is the deciding factor between a clean kill and a nightmare chase. The ideal opportunity is a broadside shot, aiming just behind the shoulder to hit the heart and lungs. This creates the largest vital zone and increases the chance of an immediate takedown. Neck shots are also effective but demand greater accuracy. Frontal shots are rarely recommended, as the animal's thick bone structure and forward motion make it a difficult target. The goal is always a quick and humane kill. Hyenas are not only stubborn but also highly unpredictable when wounded. If the shot does not immediately bring the animal down, the hunter must be ready for a quick follow-up. Tracking a wounded hyena is very dangerous. This animal is aggressive when cornered and has a powerful jaw that can cause serious injury. That is why the hunter must move cautiously and be ready to fire a second shot at close range. This is not the time to hesitate. Night or low light conditions make this even more difficult, requiring reliable vision and sharp judgment.
Watch him. Right foot.
Ultimately, hunting hyenas with a rifle without support tools is a primitive and authentic form of pursuit. It is not the most efficient, nor the easiest, but it is one of the most rewarding for those who value a fair challenge. No bait to hold the target in place, no dogs to flush it out, it's just the hunter, the rifle, and the terrain. And perhaps that is what makes it so appealing. For those ready to take on this level of hunting, do you have the skill to track and defeat one of Africa's most cunning predators on its own terms? Leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe to follow more great videos on this channel. In the Cape Peninsula, South Africa, wild baboons have become a serious threat to homes and farms. They frequently raid kitchens, tear apart roofs, and damage crops like grapes and corn. In areas such as Grabo and Simonstown, property damage and crop loss in 2025 have exceeded $1.2 million, with over 170 incidents reported in just 6 months. Residents are now facing rising repair bills, insurance claims, and the stress of daily confrontations. As government spending on baboon control reaches over $400,000 annually, how can we reduce the problems that give people here headaches year after year? Let's explore how locals are dealing with them in this video. The first step is legality. In the Cape Peninsula, South Africa, baboons may be classified as pests or as legal game animals, but that doesn't mean you can shoot whenever you see them. You'll need a hunting license, permission from the landowner if you're on private property, and knowledge of any local regulations regarding firearm use or trophy transport. This isn't just mandatory procedure, it also protects both the hunter and the environment from unsafe or unethical practices.
Nurse tuna head week.
Hunting baboons with a gun requires intelligence, patience, and respect for an animal that is highly alert, social, and adaptable. Baboons move in troops, use individuals to watch for danger, and remember threats. That means a careless approach not only ruins your shot but also teaches the whole troop to avoid that area in the future. So before picking up a rifle, you must understand the nature of the animal and the terrain it lives in. Choosing the right gun is critical for a successful hunt. Baboons may look lean, but they are strong, muscular animals and not easy to take down. Most experienced hunters recommend using a medium caliber rifle such as a .223 Remington, .243 Winchester, or even a .308 if you're dealing with longer distances or windy terrain. Pair your rifle with a good quality scope, with standard magnification from 3.9x so you can identify your target even if it's on a distant rock or moving between trees. Once you're armed and legal, scouting becomes the next big challenge. Baboons sleep on cliffs or in trees and come down to forage in the morning. They often raid farms, water sources, or orchards, and they follow fixed routes. Observing their movement for a few days will give you an advantage, especially if you notice where they often pass. You'll want to set up in a position with favorable wind, your silhouette concealed, and your line of sight clear. The actual method of gun hunting depends on your environment. A practical method in open terrain allows you to observe the troop from a distance and slowly move in, using bushes and rocks as cover. An ideal method near waterholes or trails they often frequent requires you to set up early, stay quiet, and wait for the right moment. Baiting is another option, using fruit or scraps to lure them in, but it's important to check whether this method is legal in the place where you hunt. When it's time to shoot, patience comes first. Always wait for a clear angle, ideally a broadside shot just behind the front shoulder, where the heart and lungs are. A headshot may seem effective but is very risky unless you are very close and confident. A poorly placed shot will cause a wounded baboon to flee into thick cover, and they are famously hard to track once alarmed. A clean kill isn't just ethical, it prevents unnecessary suffering and stops other baboons from becoming overly aggressive or cautious. Avoid targeting mothers with young or baby baboons, and don't fire blindly into the entire troop. Every action a hunter takes affects how these intelligent animals behave in the future, sometimes for generations.
Stop.
The goal should always be control, balance, and respect, not just collecting a trophy. A successful baboon hunt requires more than marksmanship. It demands thoughtfulness, strategy, and an understanding of how your decisions shape the land and the wildlife that live in it.
Mantap. Mantap.
After the shot, approach with caution. Wounded baboons often exhibit aggressive behavior, and it's not uncommon for others in the troop to return and check the area. If you're collecting the skull, hands, or hide as a trophy, quickly gear up and disinfect your tools. Baboons can carry zoonotic diseases. If the carcass is not being used, proper disposal is essential. Leaving it in the open can attract other animals or cause contamination. What do you think about this method of gun hunting? Can it reduce the baboon population? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to follow the channel to explore more real-world hunting topics.
Stop.